All right, let's talk about AI agents. They've officially moved out of the research lab and straight into the boardroom. They are very quickly becoming one of the most important topics for businesses everywhere, and in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly why. And look, this isn't some far-off science fiction. We're talking just a few years from now. IDC is predicting that almost half of the software you use every single day will be powered by this technology. That's not an update. That is a fundamental shift in how we all get work done. And it's not just one firm saying this. All the big names, we're talking Gartner, Forrester, IDC, they're all pointing to 2026 as the tipping point. This is the year AI agents go from being these kind of interesting experiments to absolutely essential tools for your business. So that leaves us with two massive questions, right? First, what are these things really? And second, with all of this new autonomous power, how do you actually use them without risking runaway costs, major security breaches, or just plain chaos? So why all the buzz right now? Well, it's because we're at this critical inflection point. The power of these new AI models can finally handle the complex, multi-step tasks that businesses really need them to do. And this isn't just a bunch of hypotheticals. As you can see right here, agents are already delivering real measurable results across the board, from customer service all the way to finance and security. This is real value, and it's happening today. Okay, so you're probably thinking, how is this any different from the automation we already have? That is a great question. And it really all comes down to two words: intelligence and autonomy. So let's break that down. So here's the key difference. Agentic AI isn't about following a rigid script. It's about being given a goal. Think of it less like a macro and more like a digital teammate that can actually understand its environment, solve problems, and take action all on its own. This is where it gets really interesting. Traditional automation, the kind we're all used to, is brittle. The moment something unexpected happens, it just breaks. But agentic AI, it's designed for the unexpected. It can reason through a problem, adapt to new information, and find a completely new path forward. So how do they do it? Well, agents operate in this continuous loop. First, they perceive the world around them. Then they create a plan to achieve their goal. Next, they act on that plan using different tools. And finally, they learn from the outcome. It's this constant cycle of perceiving, planning, acting, and learning that lets them get smarter and more adaptive over time. All right, so now let's pop the hood and peek inside. We're going to look at the architectural blueprint that makes all of this autonomous behavior possible. And you'll see it's actually surprisingly logical once you break it down into its core components. The easiest way to think about an agent's mind is with this simple three-tier model. Each layer builds on the one before it, connecting knowledge to reasoning and reasoning to action. Okay, it all starts right here at the foundation tier. This is the agent's long-term memory. It connects to all your company's data, your documents, your CRM, your knowledge bases. This is what grounds the agent in the facts of your business, which is absolutely crucial for preventing it from just making stuff up. Next up, we have the workflow tier. Now, think of this layer as the project manager of the whole operation. It takes a big, high-level goal like onboard a new customer, and it breaks it down into a clear series of logical steps. It decides what needs to happen, in what order, and who, or what agent, is going to do the work. And finally, we have the autonomous tier. This is where the rubber meets the road. Guided by that plan from the tier above, the agents here start using tools and APIs to interact with other systems. They're updating records, sending emails, generating reports, you name it. This is the layer where all that intelligence turns into real, tangible impact. So it's pretty clear that these agents are incredibly powerful. But you know what they say, with great power comes great risk. So let's shift gears and talk about how you manage these new digital coworkers safely and, more importantly, effectively. Now, this is a number that should make everyone pause. According to Gartner, over 40% of agent initiatives are predicted to be abandoned by 2027. So why? Well, it's because without the right controls in place, these projects can spiral out of control and fast. And the reasons for failure? Well, they're probably what you'd expect, but they are absolutely brutal. We're talking about costs that explode overnight from thousands of API calls, projects that burn resources but never deliver any clear business value, and, this is a scary one, agents that take unintended actions, creating massive operational or compliance risks. So to succeed, your agent architecture needs what we'll call the security trifecta. First, data residency, making sure your sensitive data never leaves your control. Second, a rock-solid defense against prompt injection to stop bad actors from hijacking your agents. And third, total auditability, so every single decision an agent makes is traceable and explainable. These are non-negotiables. The key to all of this is a concept called the guardrail. Think of it like a smart safety net. Before an agent can take any action, like sending an email or deleting a record, the guardrail checks it against your company policies. If it's too risky, the action is stopped and flagged for a human to review. This is how you get autonomy without sacrificing control. It's the critical balance. Okay, so you have the technology and you have the safety net, but how do you scale this across your entire organization? See, the solution isn't just about tech, it's about strategy. And the answer is something called an AI Center of Excellence, or COE. Now, this is not just another IT team, it's a central function that brings together your talent, your technology, and your governance. Think of it as the engine that's going to drive responsible, scalable AI adoption across the entire business. And when it comes to structuring a COE, the most effective model, by far, is hub and spoke. You have a central hub that sets the standards, provides the tools, and defines the rules of the road. But then you have the business unit spokes that actually own the execution, building agents that solve their own specific problems. You get the best of both worlds, centralized control with decentralized innovation. So let's bring it all together. The path to success here is actually pretty clear. You start with proven, high-value use cases. You enforce security and control with guardrails, and you build a hub-and-spoke center of excellence to scale that innovation responsibly. The research is clear. This is happening right now. The organizations that figure out how to combine this powerful technology with disciplined governance are going to have a massive competitive advantage. So the final question isn't if this will happen, but what's your organization's first move going to be?